What's going on, everyone? Happy Monday morning to everyone. Hopefully everyone is doing well and having a great morning so far. It is time now for the morning edition of the weather update for Monday, February 12th, 2024. I'm Climate Data Report. If you're new to my channel, this is where I do daily weather updates. We also talk about weather records around the world and extreme weather as well. Today our focus is going to be on the major winter storm that is going to impact the Northeast, and this is our first of two updates today. I thought I would jump on and give you a morning update because there has been some significant changes in the modeling, and I think you need to understand why that's happened and what the forecast is now going to be in the Northeast, because it has changed significantly. Starting off with the satellite picture here, you can see here on that satellite picture there is the area of low pressure. It is still over Missouri and portions of Arkansas and eastern Oklahoma this morning. We do have a severe weather threat out ahead of that in the southeast, where there is currently a tornado watch that is up. And you can see there are clouds that extend into the northeast. Taking a look at the radar picture here, you can see we have our area of rain, snow mix that is ongoing right now in Missouri and eastern Oklahoma. Then we have this plume of heavy rainfall across the southeast, and there is even a tornado watch that just went up for portions of the southeast as well. You can see that on the National Hazards Map, portions of Florida Panhandle and southwest Georgia. Taking a look here, winter weather advisories continue across portions of Kentucky, Indiana, and Ohio, but it wouldn't be surprised if some of these actually get dropped relatively soon. And that is because of the shift southeast in the modeling, which ultimately leads to a warmer track. And yeah, there's not going to be much of there's not going to be much in the way of any snow here now, because simply the storm has shifted southeast, and where it did shift to, there may be more in the way of rain in these areas. You also see the introduction now of winter storm warnings across central and northeast Pennsylvania, on and through southern New England, including portions of the I-95 corridor at this point. Yes, it has really gotten that impressive now. Taking a look at the latest precipitation for day 1 into day 2, you can see here the storm system. It is still forecast to track to the north and then transfer off to Delmarva, but take a look at this map. Even this map may have to be adjusted more southeast because the modeling simply continues to shift south. Excessive rainfall. It is likely in the southeast today. There could be some isolated flash flooding. Now taking a look as to why the storm shifted southeast. Well, we have to backtrack to yesterday. Remember yesterday there was an enhanced risk of severe weather down in the south? There was some severe weather, but look at this map here. Just one tornado report yesterday, a few wind reports, and hail was really the main story of the show yesterday. The tornado threat did not really pan out as expected. The overall severe weather threat was weaker than expected, which means the storm did not get as energized, which is allowing for there to be a slight south shift, which has now turned into a major south shift in the modeling. Let's take a look at, let's flip this to the eastern portion of the United States. You can see currently it's the 12Z her model, just came in about an hour or two ago. You can see here places that were supposed to get snow across the Kentucky and Tennessee Valley. You know where the winter weather advisories are. Watch what happens here. You'd hardly even see snow on a map. It's mainly rain now. And you do see some snow does break out in central Kentucky, the back end of the system. Same thing for Ohio. But take a look here now. You can see here we have moved into 7Z Tuesday morning. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning tomorrow morning. And it is raining along the I-95 corridor. Already, the mix line is approaching New York City on this run. Let's advance it even further. The mix line continues to advance southeast relatively quickly. Now you're coming into 10Z. Now you're getting close to the morning rush hour on Tuesday morning. And look what happens here. New York City, suddenly, you are now in heavy snow. Look at this across eastern Pennsylvania. The mix line has already made it down to Philadelphia. I advance it even further. You can see here, really heavy snow. But there is a problem. The trend southeast in the modeling, it's still continuing. Could this trend even further southeast? It's possible. I'll show you why in just a moment when I show you the 6Z European run. But continuing showing this, you can see here, there's a significant shift compared to yesterday. Remember yesterday, we thought, well, this may shift a tad more north. That did not happen, nor is it going to happen at this point. Could it correct back north a couple miles? Sure, but at this point, there is a clear trend southeast in the guidance. And it's so far southeast that places like State College, Pennsylvania, when I show you the snowfall total maps, I would probably even shave off what they have for that. All right, let's take a look at the HER model. And here's the HER model total snowfall. Now, this is a 10-to-1 ratio. Along the I-95 corridor, especially in Philadelphia, it's not going to be 10-to-1 ratio. Probably more like 7-to-1. But this map is showing 3 to 5 inches of snow. So shave a couple inches off of that, and you're still looking at 1 to 3 inches of snow now in Philadelphia, where yesterday you could have only just saw maybe up to an inch. Take a look at the Lehigh Valley. Allentown, Reading. Yes, this map is showing 6 to 12 inches of snow for you. You could now see maybe 6 to 10 inches of snow in these areas because the shift has allowed for colder air to come in play, and the shift has allowed for the heavier banding to set up over you. Let's now take a look at the latest 12Z NAM run, which literally just came in. And you'll see here the south shift. It continues on the NAM as well. You can see here as I advance it into the northeast, coming into tonight, overnight tonight, you can see rain is breaking out along I-95. That is still in play. It is going to start out as rain along 95. Even New York City, I think you're going to at least start out as a few hours of rain. But you can see here, as I advance this, watch what happens. It quickly flips to very heavy snow just northwest of Philadelphia. This is really heavy snow. This is 1 to 2 inch per hour rates. And when you're talking rates like that, especially that would probably be, those rates would start right as the sun's coming up. It's going to be sticking to everything at that point. And you can see this continues as I advance this. Connecticut, Boston, you get into those 1 to 2 inch per hour rates. Rhode Island, you're into 1 to 2 inch per hour rates. Much of southern New England does get into that, and the NAM has significant snowfall. Take a look at this. Here's the total snowfall map for the NAM. Now, you can shave a couple inches off of this, but still, you're seeing isolated areas anywhere from Reading, Pennsylvania, on up to Boston, Massachusetts, where there could be upwards of 12 inches of snow in localized areas. Yes, it is possible because of where that band is going to set up. Just yesterday, the models had that about 25 to 50 miles more northwest, and that does not appear likely now. The only thing that does appear possible that we still have to watch with this storm is, does it shift even further southeast? All right, let me show you now the European. Look at this shift. This is a time lapse here. Here's some earlier runs. Look what's happening. You can see there is a clear trend southeast in the European model. And you can see, look at State College, Pennsylvania. Look at Albany, New York. Yeah, you're even at the point now where Albany, New York, you hardly even see any precipitation because this storm has shifted southeast so much. It's the same deal on the GFS run as well. We'll use the 6C GFS for example, and I will show you here. Let me change this. And you can see here, let's go back several runs. Back 1 run, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can just see here. Watch this northwest cutoff on the GFS. You can see it continues to shift southeast, clearly shifting southeast. And we can do that with the total snowfall map as well. Look at this. It is clearly, you can see at one time, portions of northeast Ohio, northwest Pennsylvania, were looking to get heavy snow. Now look where that sets up. It now sets up much further southeast. All right, now let's take a look at some maps from forecast maps for snowfall from the National Weather Service. First off, you can see here, I wanted to show you this. This is the hazards map from the Mount Holly National Weather Service office. You can see, look where the winter storm warnings now set up. There's even winter storm watches near Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. You can see this was a clear shift southeast over yesterday. Yesterday, we wouldn't have even been talking about winter storm warnings for Allentown. They would have been confined up into the Poconos. Same deal with New York City. You're now under a winter storm watch. That wasn't even something we would have thought of yesterday, but because of the shift southeast, it's possible you will need a warning. All right, here's the National Weather Service out of State College. Mind you, they are still pretty far to the northwest. Ridgeway, Pennsylvania, Warren, Pennsylvania, Bradford, Pennsylvania. I would probably shave these amounts off. Wellsboro, Pennsylvania, they have 4 to 6 amounts still in these areas, and Honestly, I would shave it down to maybe 1 to 2 inches. If you're lucky, maybe you get 3 inches of snow. State College, Pennsylvania. They're still going 6 to 8 inches. Should these trends southeast continue, shave you down to 2 to 4 inches of snow, because I think this is they're likely overdone, and in the afternoon package they will probably have to update this. Take a look at this. This is Mount Holly now. You can see here they're going with 1 to 2 inches for Philadelphia, and I do agree with that. It's possible maybe that has to get updated to 2 to 3 or 2 to 4. You can see Allentown, Pennsylvania. You're now expecting 6 to 8 inches. They still have 12 plus area in Mount Pocono, 12 to 18 inches, and 12 to 18 in North Jersey. Honestly, I think that's going to shift even further to the southeast, just to the south of Interstate 80. It's where I think there could be localized amounts up to 12 inches. And like I said, they have 6 to 8 for Allentown. Don't be surprised if that gets up to 10 inches as well. Moving on now to the National Weather Service in New York. Look at this. This is a huge change from yesterday. New York City, you were expecting maybe 1 to 2 at the end of the storm yesterday. Now the National Weather Service in Upton, New York, has 6 to 8 inches of snow for you. Continuing along the I-95 corridor, look at this. Bridgeport, Connecticut, 8 to 12 inches of snow being expected now. And I'm in agreement with this. 8 to 12 for New Haven. They also have this 12 to 18 inch area in Waterbury, 12 inches in Danbury. Cold Spring, New York, 12 to 18 for you. Although I think 18 is a little high. Probably looking more at just maybe an isolated 12 plus area. Looking back now across Binghamton, this is another area of uncertainty. Binghamton, New York itself. Could this 4 to 6 area end up being more southeast? I definitely think it could end up being. It could end up being in Pennsylvania, maybe even as far southeast as Scranton, just based on the latest model trends. And this 8 to 12 area will probably end up being closer to the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania. Albany office. This is a tough one. I mean, north of Albany, they have these 6 to 8 inch amounts. I think that's too far to the north. I think in the afternoon package, when I give you another update this afternoon, we're going to see the majority of these forecast offices continue to shift south unless the model should suddenly shift back north again. So I think this 6 to 8 area will probably end up down here, maybe near Hunter and Albany, maybe at this point a 1 to 3 inch amount for you. And continuing on here, look at these amounts here. Probably we'll see this orange area where there's isolated 12 to 18 shift even further to the southeast, and the northwest side of this I would probably shave off. Like for example, Greenfield, 6 to 8 inches, I think that's overdone. I think that's going to probably end up being maybe more like 2 to 4 inches. And finally, taking a look at the main office, we'll have to see what happens here. The southern portion of this map still could verify. The northern portion, that might even be too far north still, just because you saw the clear trend. Let's go back to the European again. There is a clear shift southeast, and if the European's correct, even Boston would not even be looking at a foot of snow anymore. We'll have to see, though. I think the Euro might have overcorrected, but we shall see. Only time will tell. We'll have another update again this afternoon. Hopefully this video was helpful for you. Hopefully you understand that, hey, things have changed, and the morning rush hour tomorrow morning is going to be really dicey. Anywhere from northern Delaware, right on up through Connecticut, Rhode Island, even portions of Boston area. It's going to be really dicey because that switch, it's going to happen sooner, and it's going to be coming down pretty hard right during the rush hour tomorrow morning, especially New York City. It's going to be a bad rush hour. It wouldn't surprise me if there's some delays and cancellations for schools just because of the changes that we have seen now in the guidance. All right, we'll have another update again this afternoon or evening, probably sometime between like 4 and 6 o'clock, as we'll have new data that will be in. We'll have another forecast from the National Weather Service. If you found this helpful for you, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe to my channel down below. And of course, share this with anyone who wants to see it. For the folks on the West Coast, sorry, we did not get to you. I will get to you in the afternoon update because we do have to talk about the storm system that's setting up for you this weekend. I'll see you guys all again later in the day. Thanks for watching and have a great day.